This problem is going to demonstrate how to use the standard normal distribution table to answer an application question. So let's assume that the average height of a certain group is 65 inches tall and that the standard deviation is 2 inches. The variable is going to be normally distributed, and we're going to randomly select an individual. We'd like to know what the probability is that the person is less than 62 inches tall. So the question that we're asking is, what's the probability that the random variable we're looking at, the person is less than 62 inches tall? What we have to do in order to use table E, the standard normal table, is to standardize this, and we use this formula where we take the number, the x that we're trying to find the answer to, and we subtract away the mean, which was 65, and then we divide through by the standard deviation, which was 2. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your calculator and you're going to take 62 minus 65. I'm keeping that in parentheses, and then I'm going to divide by 2. And then the z that I'm getting is a negative 1.5. And so if we would answer the question, what's the probability that z is less than a negative 1.5, we would also have the answer to what's the probability that the person is less than 62 inches tall. So instead of answering this question, which originally we were trying to find the probability that the x was less than 62, we're going to answer this question. What's the probability that the z is less than a negative 1.5? Our chart, when we look up z numbers, gives us the area less than that. So we just need to go to our z chart and look up negative 1.5. It's right here. Negative 1.50 is 0.0668. It's right there. And so then that's that area. That's also the answer to this question that we were trying to get. So the probability of somebody being less than 62 inches tall is right around 7%. The next question, we want to know what's the probability the person is between 64 and 67 inches tall. So we're still using a mean of 65 and a standard deviation of 2 inches. And now we'd like to know what's the chance a person is between 64 and 67. And if I write it in probability, it looks like this. We want the x between the 64 and the 67. When we standardize this, we're going to have to standardize both numbers, so we'll have to use the formula twice. We use it once with the 64 and then once with the 67. So I'm going to go to the calculator and do that. So I'm going to go 64 minus the center, which is 65, the mean, divide by the standard deviation of 2. My left z is going to be a negative 0.5, and then I'm going to do the 67. 67 minus the mean, the center of 65, divide by the standard deviation. So this is going to be a negative 0.5, and then a 1.0. Now, when I look these up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up the 1.0. It's going to give me the area all the way to the left. Then I'll look up the negative 0.5. It'll give me the area to the left of that. And then when I subtract those two areas, then I'll get the area between those. So I have to get both of the areas and then I have to subtract them. So let's go to the chart. Let's look up the 1.0 first. We'll get to the positive part of the chart here. 1.0 is 8413. Then we're going to go back to the negative part of the chart and we'll look up negative 0.5. $3085. And then we'll have to subtract those. I'm going to grab the calculator and just do the subtracting on there. So it looks like the area in between is 5328, and that should be this shaded area right in here, 5328. That should also be the answer to this probability question, like about a 53% chance that somebody's between 64 and 67 inches tall. And then we want to know what's the probability that somebody's more than 69 inches tall. So you're over here, and you're really trying to figure this out, that the probability is more than 69 inches tall, like that. And so you're just going to have to standardize the 69. I'm going to do that on the calculator. 69 minus the center, which was 65, divided by the standard deviation, which was 2. The z that I'm looking for is a 2. So now when I look on the z chart, I actually want this part over here. So I'm looking up a z of 2. Let me go to the chart. When you look up a z of 2, you're really going to get the area to the left of the 2. A z of 2 is 0.9772. That's this area. Whoops. And I really want the area to the right, so the very last step would be to subtract from 1. So let me grab the calculator one more time. We're going to do 1 minus 0.9772. It's 0.0228. That should be this area over here. 0.228 should be the area to the right, and that's what we want. That's the answer we're looking for. So about a 2% chance somebody's taller than 69 inches.